It is really good to be here today. Thank you to Pastor Don, though he's not here right now, to be able to say, I want to tell him thank you for letting me come. And in case you guys don't know, I'm also connected here because Nick and Elise, Nick is my son, makes Elise my daughter-in-law, and it means the two greatest kids in the church are my grandkids, and that's Libby and Jensen. And if you don't know them, you need to because they're awesome. I am part of the Indy network, and it is an honor to be able to do that. And just kind of let you guys know, she did a great job laying it out. We do is we work to strengthen, connect, and then see what gets unleashed when we bring together standalone ministries and some smaller churches around the city of Indy. And it's really been exciting. See, our point is not just to connect them. So many networks start at the connecting point. We want to start with the strengthening point, because when you're a standalone ministry, sometimes you are literally standing alone. And there's difficulties that come personally and ministry-wise. And we want to be the people that can come alongside, that we have a relationship or friendship, and then we're praying for and coming along and trying to help get things so then they can step out in strength in ministry. And we have a couple of the ministries with us today, and we point them out in a minute. And you can ask them if I'm lying, if that's not what we do, but you can ask Emily and Amy about that. But guys, some of the exciting things over the years we've been able to do by connecting churches and ministries and businesses together. Last year, a ministry needed a minibus, and a church gave the money to buy the minibus. Now, that's just cool, right? And while I was in that service, somebody donated a van, and another ministry got a van that they were in need of that we didn't even know about until after we had that van done. Just different things going on. We've helped with grant applications. One of them, the leader was in a tough spot. They were trying to finish out their grant. So we had a friend who was a grant writer, and for free, she did it, and they were able to get a $250,000 grant. Now, isn't that amazing, right? Right now, one of the ministries is in a new ministry location because they were about getting booted out of theirs. They didn't know where to go, but we had a connection. Do you see, you getting the feeling? I'm not trying to brag on what we do. What I'm saying is we have some connections that can help them do what they do. And instead of them putting their time, energy, and effort into solving that, we can help solve that, and then they just keep doing what they do, and they keep doing it well. Because, guys, these ministries are doing amazing things, and we're going to be talking about them in a minute. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a very common verse, a verse that everybody knows. You know it, I know it. Non-believers know this verse. It's everywhere. It's what you call ubiquitous. It's a really cool word. If you don't know what it means, look it up. But it's just a ubiquitous verse. It's everywhere. And I think sometimes with that familiarity, there comes an inbred ignorance. Because we don't even think about it anymore. We just go right by it. It's just something we know, and it just sits there. We overlook it. We neglect it. We maybe even disregard it. But I think this verse is vital because it explains what God has done. It can draw in those who need to experience what God has done. And it comforts anyone who understands it and challenges all of us to follow him better. I think it deserves a closer look. And so we're going to look at it. You all know it. It's going to be on the screen, and you could say it with me. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. I actually said it wrong, according to the way it's written there. I was going off my mind. He gave his only Son that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. We all know that verse. And we're going to take just the first few words and we're going to look at them individually. Because I think if you grasp that and you put in your mind what is really being said there, this verse will never be boring to you again. It'll never just be a verse that you read over again. So let's start with the first one. For God. God. Guys, there have been books. There's whole libraries written about this one word. So I'm not going to bore you with it all the way down, but let's just suffice it to say that God is the self-sufficient one. What does that actually mean? That means he needs no thing or no one else to be who and what he is. He is self-sufficient. He doesn't need you to exist. He doesn't need somebody else to be love. He is love. He doesn't need somebody else to be receiving his love as far as in creation. He already had that in the Trinity. The Father, the Son, the Spirit, they love each other. There is love between them. So he didn't create you because he needed somebody to love. No, he created you because he is love. Think about that. He's all good. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. He created this universe because of that love that he had. The ultimate act of love is creation. So he created because he is love, not because he needed something. He is the all-sufficient one. Guys, I could go on for another 45 minutes to an hour about that one word, and my son and daughter-in-law know that, so I'm going to stop there. But if you guys think, for God so loved the world, the all-sufficient one loved the world. And then you come to this tiny word, so. So. Often when we read this, we think of so as in quantity. I love you so much. You say to your toddlers when they're little, you're so big, right? Or you tell someone, man, you're running so fast. It's quite often in a quantity type usage. But that's not the usage here. It's not that God loved us so much that he came to die. Now, he does love you a lot. But if you have the idea of so much, that means there is a limit too. Right? But God is love. And God is limitless. So this is not a limited word. It's not a quantity word. When this word is attached to an adjective, like fast or big, yeah, it's quantity. But when it's attached to a verb like love, then it doesn't mean quantity, it means method. For God in this way loved the world. We use that word that way. Maybe not as often anymore. We might say, hey, do something like and so. Like do thus and so. Do it this way. Right? You're trying to teach somebody. You're trying to teach a kid how to tie a shoe. You're trying to teach them something. You're going to say, do it this way. But that's the idea of do it thus and so. Do it like so. John is trying to tell us how God did something. The fact that he is love is why he did it. But the method is what John's trying to get us to. God in this way loved the world. For God so loved the world. God in this manner loved the world. But what does it mean by loved? For God in this way loved the world. If you had a Greek mindset, you would be thinking, when you talk about love, you'd be thinking about an exchange of value. For God so loved. There was an exchange of value in the Greek mindset. And that is, they have at least three different words for love. One was eros, the other was philos, and the third one is agape. And in church, we use the word agape all the time. I don't think we really fully understand what it means, but we just throw it around. That's why back when I was young, they used to call it sloppy agape. It was just a mess, right? It was just, whatever, agape love. And they didn't know, they felt cool because we were using a Greek word without knowing what the Greek word was. But in the eros type idea of exchange of value, it is a taking of value. That's where you get the words erotic, and it's a sexual type thing because it's a receiving of, a taking of value. But then you have philos, that's an exchange of value, back and forth. That's where you get the idea of Philadelphia being the city of brotherly love. It's an exchange of value. It's going back and forth. I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. Oh, boy. You could tell my kids grew up in the Barney era, right? But it's that exchange of love. It's going back and forth, one to the other. There's no one's taking, it's a sharing. But then you have agape love. And the reason this is given the nomenclature, given the title of godly love is because there is nobody equal to God. And so he can't be philos. And there's no one from whom God has to take value. So it can't be eros. Only thing left is agape. Agape love is a giving of value. Giving to something of less or even no value. A value. One day when I was doing a program called The Caring Place on the Far East Side in downtown Indy, I had a group of teenagers with me. We went down to the canal. And we were right over. We walked all the way through the park and walked all the way along the canal and got to the Medal of Honor Memorial. If you guys have been down there, it's beautiful. If you haven't been down there, you need to go. And so we're sitting there, and there's a set of steps there, and I had them all sitting on the steps. And that's when I announced we were going to do a scavenger hunt. And I brought with me a huge box of a prize. Now, I didn't tell them what was in the box. I just said, it has a value. It's good. You want it, is what I told them. I said, now, here's the other thing. In order to get that, you need to go looking through everything around here, and these are the things I need you to find. A cigarette butt, a feather, a weed, not weed, a weed. I didn't need them any pulling it out of their pocket, right? A gum or candy wrapper, and then a bottle cap. So you got to go find these things, right? And the first team to come back with all 5 things wins this. What's in it, Pastor Chad? None of your business yet. You didn't win it. Now, think about it. That box had no value. I've been carrying it the whole time. Nobody cared what was in that box until I put a value on it. Not only that, they had been stepping over all of that junk that I was having them look for, and it was just garbage. In fact, as we were walking in, I even said, oh, look at all the bird feathers around here. Yeah. Kept going. They didn't even care to look. I said, man, I know many people smoked. Yeah, Pastor Chad, whatever, let's go. Okay. Didn't have any value until I gave it value. Now they're not stepping over them. Now they're hunting them. Now they're ready to wrestle each other for them. Now poor people walking by, looking up, enjoying the beautiful day are getting run into by teenagers because they're trying to find a cigarette butt. And if they can't find a bottle cap, they may have even ran up to someone who had a bottle and said, are you using that right now? Why? Because all of a sudden, it has value. Because I put the value on it. What was in the box? You're all wondering, right? It was plumb full of potato chips, individual bags of potato chips. They were so excited to win it. So I hadn't lied to them. But you know, you and I, humanity, we really had no value. You see, God had placed us in a relationship, in a communion with Him. And then based on that communion, He put us in dominion over all of creation. And then humanity broke creation. It's not just that they ate the fruit, but in eating of that, they were misplacing their trust. You see, in that relationship, we had communion with God, and we were dominion over the world, over all of creation. There was a trust relationship. And we took our trust off of God, and we placed it into something that we had never experienced before. Somebody new on the scene. That broken trust. And because we were the leaders of this creation, we broke it. We took what God had given us, and it's as if we had smashed it. It says all of creation groans under the curse. We had broken it. So we had no value until God says, you have value. A friend of mine, Pastor Don Colagio, he puts it this way: what about you makes you attractive to God? And the answer is nothing. Because if he would be attracted to you because of your skills, because of your abilities, because of your knowledge, because of your looks, then when you lost any one of them, you would cease to be attractive to him and he wouldn't want you. He's attracted to you because he wants you. It's because he loves you, because he's put value into you. For God, in this way, gave value to the world. But what's the world? Well, the world's made up of, you know, as preachers do this all the time. This whole group is made up of 2 or 3 or 4 groups, right? And you're always like, man, they're always saying it's the same, and it's always confusing, but whatever. I'm doing it. The entire world could be put into 3 groups. And these are the groups of my choosing, all right? So stick with me. The obvious, the not so obvious, and the no ways. They're the people that you obviously love. It's your spouse, it's your family, it's your kids, right? And the downward flow of love is greater than the upward flow. Parents, remember that, so don't get upset when they don't like you all of a sudden. But those are the obvious ones, your close friends, right? Those are the ones you love. Then you have the not so obvious. The ones that unless you got into a relationship with them, you wouldn't love them. The people you go to church with, until you started coming here, you didn't know them. They're some of the not so obvious. I used to walk along 30th and Central all the time in Indianapolis, Indiana. You know what? Like you didn't know which state it was, right? I preach other places too, folks. So I'm now in relationship with these people that I didn't know before. But now I know them so well, I attend funerals and I go to dinner with them or I eat lunch with them, right? Why? Because now they're people I love. So you have the obvious, the not so obvious, and you have the no ways. The people you can't love. Because your love and my love is limited. Because we ain't God. I don't have to delineate that. You can come up with your own. But if I was to mention one group, I bet you would be in agreement, majority of you. Somebody who abuses kids. Man, I don't love them. They're beyond my ability to love. But they're not beyond his. For God, in this way, gave value to the no way. To your no way. The one that you wouldn't spend time with. The one you wouldn't visit. The one you wouldn't pray for. The one you don't want to think about. For in this way, God gave value even to the no way. He entered the world. That's what the rest of the verse says. For God so loved the world. For God in this way gave value to the world. He gave his only begotten Son. It tells us in Philippians chapter 2 that God became human. And he lived amongst us, and then he died on a cross. And then the Father exalted him. That's how he gave value to the no way. He entered it. I have so many ministries that we are honored to work with, that follow God's pattern right here. There are pictures, and we've got some we're going to throw up here on the screen. And in fact, Emily is right here with us. She's back there. Emily, if you'd stand up. This is a dwelling place. Guys, this ministry is stinking amazing. They work to preserve families. Did you know that if you have a child and you're involved with the system and you don't have a crib for that child, you're going to lose that child to the system? They said, we don't want to see that happen anymore. Last year, at the end of the year, just near the end of the year, they had to come up with 40 cribs, and they have to buy them brand new. You know why? Because you can't give a used crib away. Those are $200-300 a pop. But they made it happen. They're there. But guys, it's not just here. We're going to bring you cribs. Now, because they've met a need, they've changed a life, yeah. But then they give them the opportunity to meet Jesus because they want to give them new life. I'm all about changed life, but we want to see new life, right? That's why they have a discipleship program. How cool is that? 2 times a month, they have loadouts where people like you and me can go carry a crib into a house. How cool is that? I don't know what you do with your Saturday, but that's a pretty cool way to do a Saturday because you're meeting a need, given an opportunity for new life. That's what's exciting. And then we have Family Hope. This is Lana Blanchard, but Lana's not here today. Back here we have Amy Tenney. She works with the guys, Family Hope. This is one of the coolest things, and you really need to think about this. When a family is struggling, they can't quite get up on their feet. Either they're homeless or they're in a difficult situation. Family Hope will find sponsors that will take care of your kids for 2, 3, 4 weeks so you can get up on your feet. You go, does that work? Yeah, it does. You know how I know it? Because me and a friend of mine, Tim McNamee, we sent 4 families to them. 3 of them said, yes, we need your help. They handed their kids. They don't give up guardianship. The state's not involved. There's nothing. The government stays out. Thank God. Those 3 families got on their feet, got their children back. Everything was good. The one family said no. They lost their kids to the system. It works. But it doesn't work because they have an idea and they talk about it. It works, both of these, because they enter. Do you see what I'm saying? These people that they're working with are some of the not so obvious, and sometimes they might be some of the no ways. But they don't stand back and go, man, it'd be really cool to help somebody. They enter. God didn't sit back and go, man, those humans really messed it up. Let's start over. That'd have been easier, probably would have been smarter. But because he's love, he couldn't do that. They enter. Because they enter into it, lives are changed. And they can bring Christ. And then new life is found. I think we have a few more up here that I'll just talk about. Urban Hope. Guys, these guys find mentors for teens and kids. My gosh, and they walk along with these kids and they help them. Do you know that if a young person has 2 contacts a month, just even phone calls with somebody who they know honestly cares about them, that their chance of dropping out of school and then ending up in prison drops by 75%. Are you tired of prison? Don't shut them down, clean them out. Don't just say, oh, we don't need them. No, make it that we don't need them. And how do you do that? For God, in this way, gave value to the ones we didn't count valuable. And he's asking you to do the same thing. They're looking for more mentors. By the way, you can go to our website, indynetwork.org, and connect with any one of these. Stop the Violence Indianapolis, Anthony and Beatrice Beverly. Guys, he's been doing this type of work for going on 25 years here in Indy. And what he does, he helps mentor young boys so they don't get into the violent crime. And then he works with families after the violent crime, the perpetrator and the victim. There was a young man who needed help. He wanted out of the city. He'd been in too deep. He just needed to get out. He came to Anthony finally, said, man, Mr. Beverly, I know you've been talking to me for years and I'm ready to listen. I just need out. And they said, I got you. Got him a plane ticket, had a place for him to go. He's going to get him out of the city. There was nowhere safe in our city for him. This was on a Saturday. His plane ticket was for Monday morning. Monday never came for him. He was shot and killed on Saturday night. You go, man, that's depressing. Yeah, imagine dealing with that day in and day out. I asked him one day, your volunteers, the people working with you, what's a good caseload for them? How many students, how many young men can they handle? He said 3. I said, Anthony, how many are you handling? He said, 13. You want to make a difference? For God, in this way, gave value to the no ways that he deals with. That's what's happening. Got another one? Sanctuary Indy, Michelle Shelburne. Guys, homeless people, chronically homeless. They're stuck on the street. They have other issues. She's creating a tiny home community. It's on the near west side. It's already being taken care of. They're already moving towards it. They're a little bit short on their money, but they got a matching grant. We were just trying to help them get that grant filled because they want to make a difference in lives, because there'll only be tiny homes there, but there's going to be other people living on property that can do the surround services needed so we can get chronically homeless people off the street and moving back into society. These are some of your no ways. For God, in this way, gave value to the no way. But it's not just for these people. He's calling you to do that. You know how I know that? Because it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, it says, all this is from God, who through Christ reconciled us to himself. That's what happened. That's what John 3:16 is. For God in this way gave value, reconciled, brought back into communion what we had destroyed. He brings it back, and then he has given us. Can you see that? I'm in the way. Has given us the ministry of reconciliation. You and I have the same ministry Jesus had. And what did Jesus have? For God in this way gave value to the no way. He came. And you and I have the same ministry handed to us. Isn't that crazy? He trusted you. He trusted me. I have a whole sermon I wrote one time because I was looking in the mirror getting ready in the morning and it crossed my mind. He died for that. The title of the sermon is this: Ripped Off at the Cross. That is, I have it. Actually, I preached it. Ripped off at the cross. Jesus got robbed willingly. But he's given you the same ministry of reconciliation. The problem is we don't know how to do it. You know what I just did to you right now? I've set you up for frustration. Because I've told you what he did, and I've told you that you ought to be doing it, and I haven't said how. Now, I'll feel good because I shared my great knowledge. Woo-hoo. But you'll feel like garbage. So how do you do it? Find somebody making a difference and connect with them. You're going to do this. You're going to say, but who? That's a great, great question. You don't want to link up with a program that's here today and gone tomorrow. You don't want to link up with one that you're going to read about in the newspaper next week, or here on the news next week. You don't want that. That's another reason Indy Network exists. So you can have confidence that if I give my time, it's going to be with somebody that's actually doing what they say. It's a thing called integrity. We only have 2 core values. One of them is integrity. Just do what you say you're doing. And we require that of every ministry that's linked up with us. Integrity. These 2 ladies back here in the ministries that they represent are actually doing it. You want to make a difference? You want a relief for what I just put into you today? Then go move a crib. Go on, you can talk to them about their loadout days, or go to our website, indynetwork.org, and look on our calendar. They're on there too. You want to make a deeper difference? You go, man, I can get in there and really help with some of this family preservation. Yeah, Family Hope is doing an amazing job. And you can be a part of that. But it all comes back to this. God loves you. And he's put into you his love. And his love forced him to come from heaven to earth. And when he puts his love in you, you will not be able to ignore it. You're going to have to do something to follow through with it.